that went a little something like, there's no business like show business. I'm going to be looking at the business aspect of entertainment. And Teddy Osei will be joining us very soon. He's not able to come to the studio live, but I will be calling him and I will be speaking to him. So if you're interested, you might want to pay attention to that. And I've got Pa K. Holbrook Smith. He's an Associate Executive Director of Scratch Music and Entertainment. And the reason I've invited Pa K along with Teddy Osei to the segment of the show is so that we can look at the music aspect of business from both sides. Teddy Osei will tell us the artist side, and Pa K will tell me about the business executive, the manager, producer side of things. And this is for a very good reason. It's because of a fair that's called MIDEM. It's in France at Cannes, the same place where the International Film Festival is held. It's been held every year since 1967, and it is the place. It's like the World Cup of music. It's where people go. If you are an artist or if you're a producer, you go there to network, to legislate, to politic, to make deals, to get some new wheels. Pa K.
Hi.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
So, Ghana. When was the last time we were represented at this fair?
In 46 years of MIDEM's history, Ghana has never been represented.
Why?
It beats me, really.
Is it very expensive?
It is expensive to participate.
Yeah, how expensive? What do you have to do? You buy a ticket, you get a visa, then what else? Pay for your hotel?
Well, yeah, you pay for your hotel, and then you pay a subscription fee for participating. But in this case, what we're doing is Scratch Music and Entertainment has taken the initiative of actually setting up a pavilion at MIDEM, which we're calling the Ghana Pavilion. This is to represent Ghanaian music from High Life to Azonto.
Well, you're calling it the Ghana Pavilion?
Yes.
Is the Ghana government, any ministry helping you, supporting you?
I wish they were. Unfortunately, this is a very private initiative. We actually, got support in terms of the blessing of the Ministry of Information, but in terms of cash, it's coming out of our pockets.
Okay, now I'm looking here at some facts and figures, and it tells me that in 2011 this fair was attended by 6,850 delegates, visitors, representing 3,120 companies, out of which 1,735 had stands or pavilions of their own. So you're talking about, nearly 2,000 pavilions and stands. What do you hope to achieve by your participation in MIDEM this year, and how?
Right, okay. We hope to put Ghanaian music, which is very good, has been very good in the past, because we have a good catalogue of music in Ghana dating from the 50s right up until today. And this music has never really been exposed. It's been in pockets, little individual producers and labels coming in and taking bits and pieces of it. We now want to put all this together and show the world this is what Ghana has and this is what Ghana can do, so that we open the doors to some of our artists as well as some of our labels and producers to doing international business, because we've been doing so much of a show and not enough of a business, as they say. And this is a real opportunity. Like you said, there were 6,000 delegates from all areas and facets of the music industry who were there. They might just hear something of yours that they would like, and they'll say, wow, I'd like to license this, I'd like to release this, this artist is good, he sounds good, we'd like to sign him on. They're also agents and managers, they're all kinds of people. They're bankers, they're people involved in mobile phone content, there are people involved in music insurance and instruments design, and most importantly of all, we have an opportunity to learn a little bit more about digital distribution of music, which is the new age thing. Physical sales of music is really outmoded, and everybody in business knows that physical sales have dropped by about 60%. So the new age technology is digital distribution. It gives us an opportunity to go there, learn a little bit more about digital distribution, network with people, find ways and means in which money from digital downloads can get to our musicians here in Ghana, you know, and it's really opening doors. Senegal and South Africa are the only two countries that have ever participated in MIDEM. And if it's anything to go by, MIDEM has exposed Senegalese music where Senegalese musicians are very successful. And of course, as we all know, South African musicians have also taken advantage and have this exposure and networking and connections which they use. So we're trying to get an edge in the same way.
Okay, I'm trying to get Teddy Osei on the phone, and I want to throw this question to you because there's a good reason why I want to get Teddy Osei, because he's on the artist side.
That's
and
right.
It seems to me, I mean, forgive me for saying this, it seems to me that the artists are doing much, much better than the business executives and the producers.
Yes.
I mean, in general terms, because some artists have been able to even get, deals signed by Sony Music. There's, artists from Ghana who have been signed by Akon, Convict Music. There are some who are able to distribute their music digitally on iTunes, Apple iTunes, and so on and so forth. But it looks like our executives and our regulator, that is government, are just not up to speed.
No, not really.
And that includes you.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, the experience of managing music in Ghana is very limited. There are a lot of people who set themselves out to be music managers and so on and so forth, who don't really have the relevant experience. And it's a learning process. But individually, yes, people are doing things, but it's not really the level at which we want to operate. We want to get to a much, much higher level of actually exposing our music internationally.
Okay.
And
all right. Okay. How about this? Managing and growing or nurturing talent is one thing.
Yes.
But because talent is hard to quantify, it's not very tangible. But historically, we are very good at trading.
Yes.
And yet, I'm not sure how much money we make individually or collectively from the sale of, say, instruments. And we have some really good instruments in Ghana, the djembe drums, the phantom prom, the ones that are used for the conga, and so on. I know people come to Ghana to learn drumming, to buy the drums. We also have, certain string instruments. We have our xylophones, and these must be of real interest and value to musicians. Are you going to be exhibiting some of our instruments at your stand?
We're not actually exhibiting instruments. What we're doing is we're taking,
Uncle Ben's chorus, I hope.
No, we're taking a few examples of instruments like the seprawa, like the what do you call it? The
and who's going to demonstrate their sound? Are you taking musicians along with you?
We're not actually taking musicians. The only musician who's actually coming along with us.
You see, that's what I'm talking
Teddy
about.
Osei.
You guys are going to Cannes to have a good time. You're not taking any musicians, and you're not taking any manufacturers of instruments. But I've got Teddy Osei on the line right about now. Good morning, Teddy. Teddy, good morning. Can you hear me? Teddy. Good morning, Teddy. Thank you for joining me and all of our viewers and listeners. I hope you're feeling well.
Sorry, I missed the program because I'm not that well this morning.
I hope you feel better soon, Teddy, but you haven't missed the program. You are live on Sunrise on air. And I want to ask you this question, and it's about the secret of your success in terms of Osibisa. I'm here talking to Parquet, and I told him that what it looks like the business executives and the producers of musicians and music in Africa in general, in Ghana in particular, are not up to the talent of the musicians and the singers and performers such as yourself. Would you agree with me? And what would you say the key to the success of Osibisa is?
Well, it's actually hard work and determination, and also a combination of styles of music to put together, and crisscross rhythms that explode with happiness, with the African highlights, jazz, blues, rock,
because I want to ask you how you would compare your success to the success of bands such as the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, the Temptations, the Jackson 5s, and all the big bands from around the world. But I want to ask you this question first. Do we have any chance at all of having an artist like, that will be as internationally recognized and successful as, say, well, let's not go to the Rolling Stones. That's from the... Let's go to Bob Marley. Now, I know you have a great relationship with all the artists in Jamaica. You're a personal friend of Rita Marley. You've staged shows for Jamaican artists. Where is the Ghana Bob Marley?
Oh, the Ghana Bob Marley, there are several Ghanaian Bob Marleys. The only problem I see is that we're not going within... Like Teddy was rightly saying, that you have to remain authentically African and Ghanaian, even though if you fuse all the other influences.
King Isoba
is great. These are the kind of artists who are really making a mark.
Mensa, Manifest.
No, I would go for Atongo Zimba. King Isoba. People like Ebo Taylor. People. Well, that's
Bopinodo.
Well, Bopinodo and all of them made great music, but unfortunately, the time the music was made, we didn't have the sort of international openings and opportunities that there are today. Now today, like you were saying, musicians are marketing their produce on by the internet and so on and so forth. Those opportunities were not there, but those people made great music. Currently, if you look in most of the indie labels in Europe, the music that they're licensing and re-releasing is music like bands like Marijata, Jedu Bleambole, Rob Roy. It's all the stuff of the Afro-funk, Afro-rock 70s.
So which artists are you taking? Which artists and bands are you representing at Midem this year?
At Midem this year, the strangest thing that has happened is that we have more record labels and companies based in Europe who deal in Ghanaian music, who we're representing, than indigenous Ghanaian record labels and companies, because I don't know, there's a certain inertia in our industry, or apathy, I don't know what to call it. But really, I've been expecting a lot more labels, mobile phone company content providers, banks and so on to come forth to see how they can be part of this Ghana Pavilion.
You sound like you're being very careful, but I know you are an industry veteran. Tell me what the problem is and what we have to do about it, so that if we have so much talent, what is the problem?
The problem is exposure. Also the right productions and the production values. A lot of our music now, like Azonto is very popular. Azonto is growing, it's very big. Ghana should really claim Azonto and be proud of it, because it's a dance form which has become popular around the world, and is also a music form which is becoming popular, and it's crossed over, and people are still not quite sure and belittling the music and so on. It sounds very basic. And
okay, what's the difference between the success of Osibisa and the success of, say, Atongo or King Isoba from the point of view of a music business executive such as yourself?
Osibisa was signed by a major record label. They were then, they had the budget to be promoted.
Wait, hold on. You're fast tracking. You're going too fast for me, Pake. When you say they were signed, it's as if, they just appeared out of nowhere and poop, someone signed them.
No, they put a formula together for success.
Who put the formula together?
Teddy Osei and the rest of them.
Teddy Osei. So they were their own managers?
Yes, more or less.
So what did they do that we have not been doing since?
What they did was they were prepared to sacrifice. They were prepared to play for next to nothing, and to let people hear the music and appreciate it, and therefore created a demand for their music, which eventually the record labels had to recognize. And so they had no choice but to sign them, because they had built up a large following.
Are you saying that current artists are not sacrificing? Because I know that they'll catch us and pond us for saying this. Because most artists will tell us that they've really sacrificed. They've played for next to nothing.
No, you see, but most artists that we have in Ghana today have no music training. Most of them lack the basic music knowledge that is required to really make good music. So most people are just creating out of nothing, really, and that shows in the music that they do. So the music itself has a certain quality and standard which is not going to get them where they want to be. So until, like most people, like a carpenter will never call himself a carpenter unless he's been through apprenticeship, or a mason or a bricklayer. But everybody gets up and says, I'm a musician, and they start making music.
Okay, so here's the $1 million question. If you had a chance to invite someone, anyone that might be watching us right now, to join you to be part of your pavilion at Midem from Ghana,
Right.
who would that entity, organization, or individual be, and what would you expect them to bring along to the effort? I mean, money, talent, what?
Well, it's very expensive to put up the pavilion. So what I would say is that if we're going to put any material, be it from a bank or mobile content company or music label or producer, we'll expect a small contribution towards, doing
In cash or in kind?
in cash
Okay.
for the service.
Oh, that part of business there, you know it well, eh?
Well, the cash
Okay.
business is important,
All right. How can people get in touch with you?
Well, they can call me personally if I can give a number.
Oh, yeah, give it out if you can handle the calls.
Well, my number is 020-814-0577. They can also access us at info@scratchstudios.org.
Scratchstudios.org. There you have it. And Paquet dropped the number. He is an internationally recognized and very well connected music executive. If you didn't know, well, now you know. Call him on 020-814-0577 or log on to scratchstudios.org. Send him an email, info@scratchstudios.org. And this wraps up this morning's episode.